Do you want to sing Jingle Bells?
Okay, today I'd like to show you a really simple and effective little Christmas ball that you can make. And the size is dictated by the size of polystyrene ball you can get hold of. So this is actually quite big, you can see. So you start off with a plain polystyrene ball, and the first thing you need to do is mark it into segments. So it will be divided up into, I think that's 8 sections. And the easiest way of dividing it up is by using an elastic band. So here I am sitting here being massively organised with an elastic band and no pen. So you'll have to imagine me drawing a line around here that would look like this. Here is a pen line on a ball. But it's the easiest way because it stretches around the round surface. It acts as a slight sort of guide anyway. So divide your ball into 8 bits. Once you've done that, to get this nice little, I don't know if you can see that little ridge there, so that whatever you're using, ribbon, cord, will sit quite nicely in there. And it makes it look a bit like a stuffed, generous ball. You use the high-tech method of a Bic pen lid. So you just push in and down, and if you don't like this sound, tough. I quite like it. And you just keep pushing in until you've done all the ridges around it, like that. And then the next thing you need to do, you can do this before or after, it doesn't really matter. Take a craft knife carefully and follow your line and just cut in. Try and stay, you know, roughly on the line. And just cut down each of the lines. This is so that when you get the piece of fabric, you can tuck it in. And it'll make it look nice and tight like a stuffed ball. So that's marking up your ball. So here's one that I wanted to show you how scruffy it looks on the first few stages. So I don't think I've finished putting all the ridges in this one, so I'll just finish doing those now. Where have I got to? So the brilliant thing about doing this ball is that you can use up scraps of fabric. You don't have to have it this coordinated. It just so happened that I had quite a lot of Christmas fabrics from making Christmas cards and things, so I thought, oh brilliant, I'll use those up. So just so I can show you that I really did make this one. These are the 2 contrasting fabrics that I've used. I have done them in all the same fabric, so this it's all the same fabric all over it, and I actually quite like that. I still haven't worked out how to make this brocade stuff look neat on the end. So it's got a very utilitarian knot. So that's what it would look like with just one fabric, but we're doing the one with 2. So I've put the first piece on. You can see it's quite scruffy, and that's quite a lot of fabric to get rid of, so especially on the bit that I think of as the top of the orange for some reason. But anyway, so just snip it off, and then using a very high-tech plastic knife, just poke in all the rough ends, and you just sort of have to get across it at an angle, so you're sort of scooping and poking it at the same time. So you can see it's starting to tidy up down that edge. So we'll just go down, I'll go down the rest of this side, and then I'll put the contrasting colour on to show you. So keep pushing it down here. That's going to need a trim as well, too much fabric to get rid of. So to put on your next piece of fabric, find your widest part, that's here, and then place your fabric across. Make sure it's covering that line. You can feel the ridge under the fabric, and you start pushing the fabric in on both sides at the same time so that you don't end up with one end with no fabric. So you just roughly do this just to get it going, and you can tidy it up later. So you can see straight away you've got this nice effect. So if I just tidy up this side, so once you've got the first piece of fabric on, it's actually much easier to do the next one. So there we are, we've got a nice smooth edge there, and you just continue all the way around. You can see it, you can get it fairly neat, no sewing required. And then when you've covered all of your ball, you can put things like sequins on. These are just held on with pins. You can even get fancy pins, I think, for doing things like this. You can do a little bow to cover the wrapping. I'll show you how to do the wrapping. I hope you have good visualization skills. So pretend this is finished. So start at one end and you put a pin in this end, just some plain stainless steel pins. I don't know if you can see that, but so put that one in. That's just your, you can use the end of the knife to get this in if you can't do it. There you go. That's just your pin to hold the braid in place. I found this and I thought the ribbon was revolting, but with these fabrics it looks brilliant. So you just keep going round till you get to the bottom. Now if you're really, really clever and flash, you can use the same pin, take it out and put it in again, or you can just use another pin. So I'm going to use another pin. But this one I probably will take it out in a minute. So you go around, see that's complete? And then keep going round. And then this is the flashy bit. You hold it, take it out, put it through both bits, put it back in, and just keep going. So you can tell which is the top and which is the bottom. That's obviously the top because it's all lovely and neat. So when you've wrapped the whole thing and you finish again at the bottom, put a pin in, put it in firm. You can put a blob of glue on it to hold it in place, and then you can start doing all these lovely bits here with the sequins and the little bows, any snippets and things. You can even use this mesh. If you cut it on the bias so it's a bit stretchy, you can make gorgeous bows and things. I've got a funny feeling this is the one my son made. See, I told you he was better at it than me. Anyway, don't worry if your segments are uneven. It really doesn't matter. It just looks really effective at the end. So there's a nice, simple Christmas make. Please.
You can't sing Jingle Bells.
Jingle bells.
No, there's not Jingle Bells. I'm trying to make this good.